Right, how you going, everybody? So, it's crunch time, I guess. I haven't got any more paint stripper yet at the moment, just with being my short week pay and Rachel doesn't get her extra bit of money that she normally gets. So this week, so bit the bullet, and we'll time to hack the majority of this floor out. So unfortunately, I haven't got from that green line over to here because that guard had been taken off that car that I got the boot section floor off, but I've got all the rest of it. So I'm going to start by taking out this middle sections because there's strengthening ribs all through here underneath, and they're all underneath those main swages and through there, like that's where the chassis rail is, and the same through here. So I'm going to cut out all the centre pieces so I can sort of expose what I need to see to get all the top off and leave all the bracing and the chassis rails and everything all in. And then I'll go up to, I don't know if you can see up there about where that wire is running across, there's this join there in the floor. I've got it right up there. I've cut on the other side of that, on that other boot floor. I'll just double check that to make sure I am right. But so yeah, I'm going to try and take that whole hunk out and unpick around that guard seam. And I'm mainly doing this because of this bit, but it's still fairly holey through here. It's very pitted and it's a piece, and then that'll also get rid of my repair that I've done there. So the only thing I'm going to have to do is just clean this piece up a bit more and try and tidy this up a bit. So if it's mainly just a full section in here and a few repairs, and then that there'll be a weld down that one, on top of that one chassis rail, and I've got the seam actually on the, I'm going to cut it on top of the the main big lip of the chassis rail goes to the floor, so it'll be welded across there, so that will make it stronger, and it'll be a bit easier to hide the joint underneath. So at least it looks like one, and I'll better clean it up and make it look like one, so it won't be so obvious anyway. So yeah, that's my plan, and no turning back now. So yeah, I'll slowly clear out all these bits and pieces that I need to get out, all the sort of the windows, and then I'll just do some light slices through and then start breaking the spot welds and grind some of them out if I need to, or grind some of them off, or drill them, or whatever. I'll get rid of the rest of this crap out of the road, and I'll slow my way, work my way into there because the other bits and pieces attached up there, obviously, like shock mounts and shit. So we'll carry on. Getting into it, it's coming off pretty easy. Fortunately, it's been reasonably easy to find the spot welds and just drilling a little bit and break them away, and sort of through here. I'll cut it back just a little bit further along here and sort of I'll join it along that other seam bit in here, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so I'll slowly work my way up there and keep taking chunks out until I get it clear of that bit. And this piece in here, I'll have to, I guess I'm going to have to pop all these away, and I don't know, see if I can fight with it and get it out. I'm just not quite sure how deep I'm going to have to dive in here and sort of into this bit. I didn't want to go in too deep, but I might have to, but we'll get there. Bit of a progress shot, slowly getting there. Just in behind there and there's some bracing that starts going up into the and there's the bracing for the cross, for the shocks and all that sort of stuff up underneath there, so it just starts about the end of those ribs there. That's why I've cut that off there. So I'll start trimming up into here, and I'll probably have to have a climb up in there and have a wee look and just double check to see where everything is, but I can sort of, I'm feeling as I'm going. We're getting there. Alrighty. Another wee cook in progress. So we're starting to get quite a big hole now. Just took this section out. That's the fuel tank mounts. So fortunately they can stay on the other piece of the floor, so I only got to clean them up on the other floor, so I don't even have to worry about them. Unless these happen to be in better condition or something like that once I clean them up, but it's minor. So yeah, I'm into here. So not far in front of where I cut, there's a seam in there. So I have to start going along and drilling the spot welds out and picking that out. But I'll go up the chassis rail first, and I'll start cutting it away from around that wheel arch. Hopefully I can get in there and get it all the where it's joint off in the inner wheel arch. Up here I don't have to worry about it because as I said, I'm going to be cutting along. Actually, where that patch is, where I put that patch in last time and I hadn't finished it off, I'll be cutting it back along that same area, so I'm not having to go back into that. So yeah, so I'll just have to join it basically where it's spot welded on. I'll cut it off along them and try and break the worst of it away, and I'll just join it along there. I had a bit of a little look at the boot floor that I've got out there, and that is that joint that folds down in there, so I'll have to have a plane if I can get it, drill it out, something like that from on the underside, and see if I can pull the worst of this out. It's either that or I cut it along this edge once I've picked all the welds out and weld it along there, and then sort of put the spot welds back in there as well, if you know what I mean. Right, how you going, everybody? So, back on the boot floor. I haven't completely finished stripping that out, but I started the other day, and with a bit of help from the other people when I've been at work, I started drilling up the worst of the spot welds in here. As you can see, like, they've done some but not all of them. So I'm going to try and go through this morning and see if I can get this stripped down to just the main floor pan. The only things I ain't going to take off this is these mounts for the fuel tank, and then once I've got it stripped down I'll clean it all up, and I've got to do a few repairs in here, but depending on the boot floor, because what I've done at the moment, I've sort of cut around all these pieces and I've still got a bit of stuff amongst here, so I might be able to actually just nick the worst of this out and weld it across there instead of cutting that bit out on the boot floor, because that part of my boot floor is actually good. It's sort of the rest of it that's been rotten from the water running into it. So hopefully I'll get this stripped down reasonably quickly this morning. It's only about 8 o'clock, so I'll start drilling some more of these spot welds out, and then I'll see if I can start getting some bits off it. I'll possibly have to turn it over to get some of the other ones that I just can't get to because of like bracing and then underneath here. Like, there's not going to be a lot, but I've just got to get a few more out so I can actually start pulling bits off, and then getting them around these ones around in here and bits and places like that, and see if we can get it broken down reasonably quickly. Hopefully sort of by lunchtime or a bit after, I'll have it buggered. Alright everybody, so a bit of an update. Probably doesn't look like I've done a lot more, but I've drilled out, I'd say over 99% of it. It's probably the odd spot where there's a few little spot welds that are just right on the edge, which is a bit of a pain because I don't want to drill two bloody holes like this. So I'm going to leave them sort of to the last minute. Hopefully I'm going to try and break these away, and then we'll see what happens. I'd like to get these off just to clean up in between, but anyway. So I've started breaking all this away, and I've broken all that off. So So I've got to started separating that. You can see the bits and pieces that I've sort of removed and cut off and whatever. I've picked all that, and yeah, as I said, I've cut that off with the lip, because I'm just going to join it in the boot on top of this panel when it's up the other way, obviously. So yeah, I'll just trim that off to match. When I've got the boot floor laid in there, we'll cut along the two and get a nice clean join. Yeah, and I'll have to repair all this corner. So I'm just in the midst. I've got this all broken away here. I'm going to whack this through off in here with a cutting disc and see if I can get this bit loose, and then possibly whack that through there and get that bit out of the road, and then go from there. And then I'll possibly jump over the other side, but yeah, we'll whack this bit off and see if we can get this bit of frame rail off. Right, cheers. Righty, bit of progress. So I've got that frame rail off, like I said before, and I whacked that through there, and I chopped that through there, and then I've just chopped that off through there to get it out of the road. I've got most of this broken away, a fair chunk of that one broken away, and I've sort of got some of that sort of all loosened up. So I'm just trying to get it all free now. This is all free through here. I've just got to try and get this broken away in here. It's not so easy. We have to have that inner guard lip in there. And I've freed up in sort of this bit area. Not so much brown underneath there, but I'll try and see if I can get this free and then start prying it up and see if I can get into that corner. And then yeah, I'll chop some of this away so I can get the rest of it off. There you go, everybody. So I've just set the my new pan in here. Well, second-hand new pan. So I'm just trying to decide what I do. Like, I've still got to trim all this excess, and I've still got to clean up what's left in here. But I'm going to have to do some repairs on a couple of these ribs. So I'm just looking at the old pieces out of the other car where it wasn't quite so rusty, and I should better sneak a couple of pieces out of these other ones and put back in here and replace and clean them up and make them nice and strong. And these just a couple of holey ones here, fix them, and then I'll have to do something with this corner, and then we'll go from there, I guess, once we get everything else out, and then do the repairs on this corner on the piece that I haven't got on this pan, part of the pan. So yeah, I'll quickly do those repairs in the morning and start cleaning up some of the other bits and pieces, and then get this all out and then get everything prepped to start welding it back in. Alrighty, cheers. Alrighty, just a wee update. So I've cut that bit out. That's the rusty bit. You know, it wasn't that bad, but it's just in those few spots. Almost got the new boot floor ready, or new to me anyway. Just doing some minor little repairs, and just getting the boot prepped to put this back in. Got some minor trimming to do and a few other bits and pieces. Got a weld through primer and some extra primer in there. That's all rust proofing or neutralising, whatever you want to call it. Got to trim this edge, and just yeah, a few other things to work out. The weld through primer and bits and pieces, and get this finished, cleaned up underneath. Weld up a few little bits and pieces that don't need to be there. Did a couple of patch repairs where there was a couple of little rusty spots in it, and managed to use some bits from the other boot skin or floor, whatever. It's coming along nicely. Just sprayed some rust neutraliser on the inside. I'll let that cure off, And then I'll lightly grind back where I've got a weld, like all just around the holes basically, and I'll flick weld through primer on there once it's cured off a bit. I've just got a few little bits and pieces like to tidy up where I've nicked the frame with the grinder when I was cutting. So I've got to weld some of them up and clean them up, and then I'll sit in there and do a final trim up, and hopefully won't be too far away to I don't know if I'll get it welded in tonight or started, but I'll get it so it's ready to fit anyway and weld in. There you go, everybody. So this is the final test fit for the floor. So and I'll trim anything else off now. I'm going to put a cutting wheel on and trim anything off that I need to trim off, and get everything fitting and laying in flat. Now I've treated the everything from underneath with rust converter, but I haven't put any weld through primer or anything like that on yet. So I'll do that once I've trimmed it and got it all fitting and got all the joins sorted out. And then once I've got it welded in, then I'll do the final clean up on top and treat that all with a rust converter and all that sort of stuff as well. So I've got all the surfaces prepped underneath, but I haven't put any weld through primer or anything on yet, because this is my final test fit, and I just want to make sure that's right, and then I'll do all that later on when I need to stop making noise. So that'll be the sort of the last thing I'll sort of do. I'll flick a bit of weld through primer on and bits and pieces. So we'll get that all sorted. Now I'll cut off what I need to cut off, work out what I'm going to do. Now along the this part of it, I'm going to trim it about where the spot welds are. I'll probably just trim along where the spot welds are. So it's like half the spot weld will be on that one, half will be on the other piece. So that'll hold it down nice and solid. And then, because it's a bit rusty along on the under panel here, along this piece, I'm actually going to cut right against the this piece that I've got. I'm going to cut right a piece of that so I can get rid of as much of the other stuff as possible. Like, because from here to here, like this, there is quite a lot of holy stuff. And the piece underneath, obviously, you can see in here as well. You can see what it's sort of like. So I'm going to do the best I can. So when I come to probably that spot weld there, I'll hook it out to the edge. So my joint will go down there and then hook out, and then it'll come along this edge. I would have preferred to have it on the joint so you didn't see it underneath. But I'll just have to do the best I can to clean it up underneath and undercoat it and whatever else later on, and hopefully it's not too visible. I was going to try and hide it the best I could, but it is what it is. I'm trying to get rid of as much rotten material as possible, and then I'll use what I've got off the other bits of floor to match them with these things and get as much of that stuff out as I possibly can in that bit, and sort of tidy it up, and maybe like a little patch up in for here, just to try and get it better yet. I may do that before I do the final welding, fix this up, but I'll get this sorted now anyway. So I'll get all this trimmed up. Righty. Yeah, so I'm working on the car. Yeah. So I just put all the weld through on. I'll let that dry off, and then I'll mask out the tops, and then I'll blow some other primer in the centre bits, and put some black in there, a top coat of black or something in there, just to help seal everything up nicely. And I'll probably blow a bit of something on top of that too, because now it's easy to get to. Not so panicked about the size, but I can, we can blend that in later, or blow a bit of black or something on there later once I've got it up in the air, and clean all the underside of it up at some point when I get up on a lift. Just got all this all masked up with the the weld through now. I'm going to blow a couple of coats of just rattle can primer, mainly in here. These bits aren't quite so critical, but mainly in here and in the between where you can't get back in, to give it some protection. And then I'll give it a couple top coats, just of rattle can black again, and the same in these bits. And across the top of there, I'll do across the top of there because it's a bit easier to do later, or not so easy to do later. So you all see the main bits where it's not so easy to get into, and then I can just pull the tape off, and then I'm almost ready to weld her in. So I've sprayed a bit of primer in the inside the chassis, and then I've sprayed some high gloss rattle can acrylic black, just to try and help stop any rust and everything form back in there again, keep it all fresh, let the water, hopefully any water and stuff that will just wash out because it's not got a nice shiny clean surface in there. And I've only done the pieces that are going to be inside the chassis rails, because this will eventually paint the texture coating and then paint a top coat on it. So yeah, I just flicked a bit of blacking around these to try and get in some of the gaps to help do a bit of protection in that, so it's not filled up full of gunk. And I just gave it a light coat of primer, just for a bit of immediate protection over top of that rust converted primer. So I'll let this cure off now for, I don't know, an hour or so, and then I'll come back out and pull the tape off it. And same with that, and we should be almost ready to weld in. I might, I'll leave it for another hour or so once I've turned it over and put it in there, just to let everything sort of cure off a bit longer. And then I'll start welding and tacking it all into place. Just get it all a few spots here and there, just along the edges, make sure everything's level and joined and not up and down, all that sort of stuff. And we'll get her in. Alrighty. There you go, everybody. So a bit of a quick update today. I've had a few stumbles over the last couple of weeks. I run out of welding wire there, about a week or so ago. And then last week, I've actually still got a bit of a cold. Last weekend was Bathurst, which was a big massive race over here, but I was also quite crook, so I didn't actually get out here to do any more welding. I had the wire then. I sort of run out the week before, I think. So yeah, I got the wiring back in there yesterday. I was going to try and do some over the week at nights, but I just still feeling a bit miserable, so I sort of didn't really come out here too much. So I got the wire hooked back up yesterday, and had a look at the bottle on the gas, and it had a couple of bars left on the main pressure in the bottle. And I thought, oh yeah, that should be enough. And I've still got a little bit left, but with moving the car in and out and people walking past the regulator in the bottle, it's adjust the pressure up to. I've found that I can normally weld okay with the flow rate on this thing. It's litres per minute, I think it is. So yeah, I can actually seem to weld okay. It's somewhere around about 7 or 8 litres per minute. I seem to get a pretty nice clean weld. But yeah, for some reason it had got bumped up to about 15 or 16 or somewhere around about there, so it was double the flow rate. And I was welding yesterday, getting a bit of this boot in. I don't know if I can turn the camera around. Yeah, so yep, this is the wire I use. It just happens to be compatible with the MIG welder I've got, and it's easy and wriggly, and I think it's about $28 or $29 a spool. So yeah, this is 5 kilos, whatever that works out to be in pounds. What's that about? Oh, it must be about 10, I don't know, sort of 12 or 14 pound spool of wire, I'm guessing. So I've just started the second one on this car. Along with that, doing the other little bits and pieces, but all the little repairs and welding and doing quarter panels and putting that floor on. I've used one of those, and building some hammers and other little silly projects like making that folder. And so that's my first thing of wire gone. And I've just used my third bottle of gas. So I'm using, give or take, about 3 bottles of those to a spool of wire. But I used the other one, the first one, quite fast too. I think I had it set at about 12 or 15, because that was what I'd sort of read that was a good flow rate. But I've found with even half that, I still get a nice clean weld. Like, that's not too bad, that's pretty clean. Like, it's not splattery or anything. My welds aren't great. I'm still learning, I'm still getting used to doing it, and I'm not doing it every day. So yeah, and I've only taught myself to weld. Like, it's not as though I've done any courses or anything. It's all self-learnt. I might have done a little bit of welding when I was at high school, doing metal work, but Jesus, that's, how long ago was that? I'm talking like 1990 here. So with almost 30 years ago, since I learnt to do a bit of welding at school, a bit of gas, and I think they had 1 MIG at the time, and I've never used a TIG welder. Wouldn't mind having to play with a TIG at some point and actually learn how to do that. But yeah, so I've done all right along that join. The join's down through here, as you can possibly see, and across here and down there. And I've started going down there, and I've started filling all the plug weld holes up in the majority of places, back down to the frame and the supports. So I was just going to keep moving across and moving back, because in here is not very easy. I've got to try and get something up underneath here to try and hold that up. Or that I'm going to put a couple of Tet screws in to sort of clamp those two edges together. Like in a perfect world, I probably have some of those clicos you can put through friggin' holes and all that sort of bullshit. But I don't have that. And I'm at this point, I'm not going to start buying that sort of stuff, because I know this is probably I'm getting near the end of this, and if I stay in here, I'd go buy a heap of stuff like that. But there's no point in me buying that if I'm moving to the States shortly. So yeah, I'm hoping, I don't know, I don't know. I'm hoping I can get this all this shit sorted by, say, maybe end of February. I'm hoping, and hopefully I've got I haven't got many months to go, but till Christmas. Got about 2 months, but I reckon I can get this done if I can get this bloody floor finished.